I think where I'd like to start is just exploring what the future of M-Pesa looks like and the adoption of an open ecosystem and the proliferation of smartphones and what that means in terms of expanding the financial service offerings. So can we talk a little bit about that? What are you working on? And especially perhaps within the context of the joint venture that you just mentioned, what does the future of M-Pesa look like on the continent?
So maybe for context, I mean, our business model has always been, I guess our strength has been money transfer, domestic money transfer, and most of our users have been on feature phones. We have a huge ecosystem with a wide range of partners, but the way we've built that ecosystem has been through a lot of kind of one-to-one partnerships, as well as through aggregators that help us to reach the long tail. Yeah, looking forwards, we're evolving into a digital, cloud-based open platform. If I can unpack that, when I say digital, I mean, really designed for the smartphone age. At the moment, it's about a third of our customers that have a smartphone. So it's still a minority, although they tend to be our power users. But already we have smartphone apps, and we're really improving them all the time. We're investing millions of dollars every year into developing those apps and making them really world class. Cloud based. So at the moment, the M-Pesa platform, partly for kind of historical reasons, but also for regulatory reasons, is separate in each market. So it's the same fundamental software running, but it's a separate, sitting on a server in a box in data centers, and it's separate in each market. So, and upgrading it's quite a lengthy process, and it's not interlinked. So, if we want to do a partnership with a global payments player or a global remittance partner, it's like one integration per market, one contract per market, uh, one settlement process per market. So we're putting more and more of the new functionality on the platform into central hubs, and over time that evolve into cloud. And we're to support that. We're having a lot of dialogues with our regulators to just really help them understand the benefits to their economies and their consumers of moving to the cloud. So that's obviously the future, and it's something we want to accelerate as much as possible. And then the third part, so I said digital and cloud-based open platform, and I really mean that. We have launched open APIs now in most of our markets, and that's being consolidated at the moment into a single open API gateway for all M-Pesa markets. So we basically will be one M-Pesa partner for anyone that wants to integrate with us. They don't have to do a separate integration per market. And with that, the onboarding process should be a couple of days rather than a couple of months. The integration should be very straightforward and support a wide range of programming languages, etc. I think the other key component, we're moving towards actually an over-the-top model for M-Pesa, and we've stated this publicly in a couple of markets where we don't think M-Pesa should only be limited to Vodacom or Safaricom, I guess, down the line, SIM card holders. It should be whatever network you're using, you can use the M-Pesa app. So, I think that's the future of financial services anyway. So we're embracing that.
Yeah. And then I'd like to ask sort of purposefully broad questions as you're engaging, in particular, just given the audience primarily entrepreneurs and fintechs. As you engage with these sorts of partners, are there certain things you wish you saw differently or certain mistakes that, entrepreneurs are making or lessons that you've learned that you think would be good to share, knowing the type of audience that listens to our show?
So really good question. I think maybe something around interoperability. We see interoperability as really crucial to the long-term success of M-Pesa. And it's something we've been, to be a little honest, we've been criticized for in the past for not being fully interoperable with everyone. But the reality is it takes time to build interoperability. But when you look at our mature markets now, like Kenya or Tanzania, and increasingly the other markets, we're kind of becoming interoperable with everyone. And we're very keen to do that, whether it's a bank or another telecoms player with a mobile money service. We also have tens of international remittance partners that we're interoperable with. I think what I'd slightly take objection to is and particularly in the sort of development community, there seems to be an idea that interoperability is the silver bullet for financial inclusion, and that if we are interoperable with everyone, then that means that suddenly, millions of rural customers that don't yet use mobile money are going to start using it, and the payments will really scale in particular. And Interoperability is vital and really important, and we've really benefited from it. But I don't see it at all as a silver bullet for financial inclusion. Where we've introduced it, for example, in Tanzania, we launched, I think, 4 years ago now, interoperability with the other mobile money players, and we have pretty similar market share each player. Actually, we've only seen like only about 10% of our P2Ps are going off net, and it's similar for the other players. And that's because a lot of people before that were using multiple SIMs, or they were using send vouchers and things. So it's more complex than people think. And when it comes to payments, you look at a market like Kenya or Ghana, where we're not the leading player, MTN is, where you've got one player who's got very, very high market share and very big reach. And still building up the merchant payments side of the business has taken a huge amount of time and investment. You know, interoperability is a part of that puzzle for sure. But if we want to see Africa become cashless truly, and for face-to-face payments to move away from cash, which I think coronavirus makes it even more important that happens quickly rather than in decades, then people need to focus not just on interoperability, but on actually what value do merchants and consumers get from going digital.